There we go. Yeah. Zoom was fucked up from that concert.
Really had hopes of like turning the Middle East into democracies to make the region more peaceful. I didn't understand at all, because I was too close to it, that the whole point was killing people. The whole point was extinguishing human life.
And I've heard you speak before about being in Baghdad and actually the real combat type stuff. That's kind of what really accelerated your awakening.
Well, yeah, I mean, I learned so much. It completely changed my life. I mean, I didn't do anything particularly dramatic. I was just there. But it was so different from what I expected, and I was so horrified by the fact that I had supported it, technically, but still, you know, I was part of the problem for sure. And the second I said that out loud, I've supported this, they all attacked me.
That's good.
Well, I guess, but it's taken me 20 years to really figure out what this is about, but it's not about politics at all. It's about something much deeper than that. I think people are, you know, seeing that clearly.
All right, last question. So you're grateful. We got to go.
This.
I'm a little grateful. Tell us when you got to come.
Oh, good morning, buddy.
The secret town, the big town, or outside town. Trump, I've seen him recently, you talk a lot too, saying, you know, the new media is kind of really giving a run for its money. The old media, no, that was 15, 20 years ago. The independent media is the media. I mean, your show, some of it 300 million views, average show 50, 100 million. My show's 5, 10 million. Trump does one with Elon, 1 billion. People clicked on it. They say 7.
Good morning, sir.
Listen more than 15 minutes. And still Trump, everybody, and JD Vance are all the time.
Back to work.
And even Fox to a certain extent. Those are tiny.
It was nice to have an unwinding day yesterday after vacation, though, after all them driving and shit.
Because he's now direct to the people. And
Morning, someone.
that final illusion, even people like Trump, as it falls when they realize, wait, the old dinosaur media is dinosaur media. It's extinct. It's dead. It's not hanging on by its fingernails, but it has that final illusion, like a fable or a legend that still has power. The older politicians, the Mitch McConnells, still bow down and are scared of what CNN says. Can you speak to that in the now article? Help him really drain the swamp by getting the right people in front. Something Trump admits he messed up on 8 years ago, and this time I think that's why the deep state is so scared. That's two big questions at the same time.
Well, I just think there's always a lag between reality and people's understanding of it. We're all caught in the past. We all think that the country is very different from what it actually is, and its power centers are very different from what they actually are. And I've seen it in my own life. I mean, I got a tape. Anyway, I might as well tell them. They're going to write the same piece. No one's going to read it. The people who hate you already hate you. The people who are open-minded would read the Washington Post on a dare because they know it's a joke. And so don't give them respect. Hoist the middle finger at every possible opportunity. Or more effective, just laugh at them. Yeah.
Because the only relevance they have is the relevance we give them. I don't say that from a power trip position. That's why they want to censor us and put us in jail.
So why not just say, my goal, by the way, just for the record, I don't like power, I don't want power, I don't like anyone or trust anyone who wants power, so that's my view of power. Or great wealth, same
We want to
thing.
be left alone.
Well, I don't trust anyone who wants power over other people, and I don't trust anyone who worships money, and I don't trust any of these people in the first place, so like, that's the last thing I want is to be them. That's my actual view. But since they're externalizing their own self-hatred and always accusing you of the way they actually are, which is power-hungry, money-hungry, you know, atheist totalitarians, which they are, you might as well just mock them by being like, yeah, you know, I seek to take over the world, and you know, it's like trans people. I'm trans.
Imagine they want World War III, open borders, they're involved in giant human sex trafficking and physical slave labor. Senate reports 325,000 missing kids, and they literally turn around and go, you want to hurt the trans people. It's like some weird thing they just made up.
Like the amount of time I spend during an average day worrying about the trans community. You know, I feel sorry for those people. What they're doing is not making
They're victims of a cult.
They are. They're possessed. Let me just say one last thing, if you don't mind,
At least.
which is, so we're doing this event in, you know, the biggest stadium in this part of Pennsylvania tonight with Alex Jones on the bill. And I will say, you know, we had a little trouble finding a venue because we were like, Alex Jones, he's so scary. Sold it out, like, immediately. And radical or far off the mark or not sort of obvious at this point. You were way ahead of your time, decades ahead of your time. I think you deserve credit for that just on fairness grounds, and I'm determined that you get it. I feel that.
Well, thank you, Tucker. Last question. Everybody says this is really a referendum on the Republic right now. I think it goes worse if it's silly election for Trump again, because then people will be so upset. Trump's only handed something so horrible. I'm not sure he can even turn things around, quite frankly. Sometimes it's got to get worse for his better. I'm not an accelerationist, but I get you basically that's the direction we're going. The communists with the Great Reset, they want to be accelerationists. I want to try to fix things, but if we don't, regardless, we're in a lot of trouble. But you've been across the country. What do you think the real feeling of the country is, and what do you think will happen? This is some big questions, so we don't really have time. If they still election Trump.
I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of theories about that. Usually my political predictions are wrong because my brain is not very political or ideological. So I usually get it wrong. I just keep going back to what I believe, and that is that I have two duties, that we all have two duties.
It's a duty.
And the first is to fight as hard as we can, non-violently, for what we think is true, tell the truth, inspire others to tell the truth, be brave. Okay, that's our first duty.
Cool and rainy this week here.
Faith, hope, and love. Like we're required to be hopeful, and they want to make us despondent. They want to humiliate us and make us feel hopeless. That's why they put like a retard in as the president's spokeswoman. So we look at her and be like, "Oh, this country sucks. It's not even worth defending." Katrina, like if she's the spokesman, clearly none of this is worth.
By the way, I gotta say this. I know you know this because he's well read, and most of you are too. But I'm gonna dig it up. I remember a Bloomberg article about 15 years ago. There's this others.
Be right back. I gotta grab a coffee.
The web, not taking a news search. Davos speaks and says, "It's your own country's not presence for us," or something like that. And in the article, they say we are discrediting nation states with our agenda and our control, and then it's going to demonize the nation state. When that all falls, we'll get full control. So they're literally running our countries and knowing we're going to blame our governments, have basically cultural civil wars, and then they come in and pick up the pieces. Can you speak to that briefly?
Well, it's so obvious. I walked down the street of the city we're in, which is a really pretty little city, totally defiled and degraded by its leaders, garbage all over the street. People here are really nice. People I walked through a poor neighborhood this morning on my way to the park in rural nature. All nice, super nice, but they're living in filth and squalor. The city doesn't provide that. This is Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'll say it. The city is disgusting. It's inherently a great city with great people. They've let it become disgusting and garbage all over the streets. I'm like, what is that? How hard is it to pick up the garbage?
We did a high too in the same thing.
They don't. I heard. I ran into people just run into you. They don't.
We're like mowed out water.
Trying to get some exercise, not live in hotel rooms. No, but it's disgusting because its leaders, this mayor of this town, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, wants it to be disgusting to demoralize you and make you hopeless. And I'm just reminding myself, maybe it's a reminder to others, that your duty is to be hopeful. It's your duty. It's not just like some side benefit of good news. It's like you're required to wake up every morning and determined to be hopeful and cheerful because you know that how it ends, which is in a great way. So I'm not going to be deterred from hope, no matter what they do, no matter how many retards they put in as the politician spokesman, no matter how much garbage they allow to accumulate on the street. I'm going to be hopeful. I mean that.
And by the way, this is beyond key. This is the final place we got to go. The CIA, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, wasn't classified in the 90s. Look this up. Look up CIA-funded ugly art, CIA-funded ugly architecture. And it's actually in plans to have garbage and filth and non-enforced, stuff on low-level criminals to create ugliness, and then that debilitates the mind, and then you accept higher forms of tyranny. Same thing in Europe. This is a formula.
Of course it's a formula, but they're not going to break my spirit. I don't care what they do to me. They're never going to, because then they win, and also they're like...
It's been raining since yesterday here, which is good. We needed it badly. So, we've gone from flooding several times here at the house to brown grass.
I don't care how badly you degrade the country, you're not going to turn me into some hopeless robot, period.
TuckerCarlson.com, are you going to add more decks? I know most of them are selling out. People love it.
We're done. We've got 16, we've done 11. You're 12. You finish out the dozen, and we're really grateful that you're doing it. Thank you.
But in the future, someday, if we save the country, you're going to have to do a victory tour.
Oh yeah, I'm going around the world after this.
All right. All right, folks. DarkGirls.com. We'll see you at Infowars.com. Real Alex Jones. The Democrats are literally filing in court right now to take Real Alex Jones away, and they say they own the name Alex Jones. Swear to God, it's in federal filings. It's already in the news. That's how evil they are. They try to censor me. Now they want my name. That's desperation. You'll never shut me up, scumbags. Victory or death, the words of Colonel Travis, the great Dark-Girls.
So good. Thanks, man.
11 weeks ago, the U.S. Justice Department trustee assigned to my case, personal and business bankruptcy, ordered without a court order or any reason, the doors of this facility shut. They lied and said it would just be for 3 days, and they admitted the security would be for a month or permanently. The judge in Houston, Judge Lopez, had nothing to do with it. Then it hit the news they were going to close us. No judge's order, no nothing, just the Justice Department. Who'd been involved in the case, harassing me from the beginning for over a year and a half. People were blown away by it. I refused to go along with it. I said I'd call them. And they went to court 2 weeks later and said we want him removed.
Yeah, it's 66
The judge
here.
listened to him and said you're all fired.
The highest only like 70 though.
I've been appointed by the court and the Justice Department appointed person that the court had let into it. And they had a Justice Department committee, all this stuff. Now, I'm in personal bankruptcy. I agreed to sell the assets of Free Speech Systems, the website, the shopping cart, the equipment. And there was going to be
Hey, Matt.
the 24th
Good to see you, buddy.
of October. We got a great way for you to keep InfoWars on the air. And regardless of what happens, InfoWars keep me on the air. And that's the Alex Jones store.
20 minutes to work.
Key URL for you to mark down. I've teamed up with the
I'm gonna be playing catch up today, so there'll be no desktop stream unless I just decide to. We'll
If
see.
you go to thealexjonesstore.com, that's separate from InfoWars. That's key to support into the future, whatever happens here. 30 plus amazing new t-shirt designs, new ones being added every day. They're incredible. Trump shirts, you name it. Thealexjonesstore.com. And every time you buy a shirt or 30 plus different great designs of Patriot ball caps, you get entered 5 or 10 times, depending on the day. It's different every day. Into the raffle to get $10,000 cash. Halloween's when the prize is announced. Winner, $138,000.
I may decide to do it anyway.
Super deluxe.
I won't be able to pay much attention unless, I mean, I don't think anyone's answered the text system while I've been gone.
And then it's all upgraded.
I went through a bunch of them and just read them.
The best tires, the best shocks, the best systems.
Shit from the day I left last week.
Dodge Turbo Diesel, Army Green, Black, and Red Pinstripe. Ready for you. When you buy something, you enter 5 or 10 times, depending on what promo they're running that day in the raffle. All at thealexjonesstore.com. But the t-shirts, the reason to go there, keep us on air. These are great shirts. They've got over 30 incredible t-shirt designs. I think there's more now. They're adding more every day at thealexjonesstore.com. They're designer, they're high quality. They're all there. Some of the InfoWars classics they updated, made even better. A lot of new, incredible designs.
400 Southway, King Adam Dam, 569,
Trump shirts, it's all there.
Silver Toyota.
We need your aid. We need your support. Let's
Yeah,
spread
400
shirts.
Southway, King Adam
Spread the
Dam,
word. So it's exciting to wear these out in public. Most people will agree with you and love you. You'll meet so many friends. Go to thealexjonesstore.com. We need your support. Enter to win right now at the Alex Jones Store.
How are we going to really almost deprogram these people who have signed up for the cult of Trump?
Even if we were to have a resounding campaign, as many of us would like, putting it all back together again after we've gone through this MAGA nightmare and re-educating, basically, which that sounds like a rather a re-education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that.
Newsom has signed 3 anti-free speech bills yesterday. One of them says if prosecutors decide, in their own opinion, that you were trying to deceive with a deep fake, and they use examples of things that are clearly jokes, that you will face many years in prison after they've signed laws. That if you rape a child as young as 12, you get 2 days in county jail.
What's up, guys? It's your lovin' Govin, here to drop some nah about Prop 83. Prop 83 is a spending bill designed to make new investments in a freaking butt ton of underfunded sectors in our great state, like renewable energy. Cali leads the nation's solar power, which is rad. But what about lunar power? I believe the moon is capable of so much more than just controlling your anti-ant's ovulation cycle. Let's put the moon to work for us. You know we... Prop 83 hits different, allowing Californians to keep up to 7 ounces of hallucinogenic toad venom for personal use, plus 2 gallons of synthetic peyote and random Guatemalan lab bought with crypto off the dark web.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, anybody can tell when something is AI. It can instantly, if people are confused, they can find the actual clip. They just want another way to convince everybody to go after free speech, and that ties into Hillary sent press people for disinformation. The UN and WHO have announced, along with the WEF, massive plans to start criminally charging people starting out all over Europe, Australia, for their speech in Canada. That is a huge, vital step as the system goes openly, nakedly communist Chinese style.
There has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrent.
I don't feel at home with people who believe in censorship. I think it's disqualified. It's antithetical and inconsistent with democracy. And we had Hillary Clinton yesterday making this extraordinary statement that saying that free speech is a privilege. It's not a right. And Tim Walz saying the same thing. And I think that that is disqualifying for anybody who wants to be president of the United States.
They've been brainwashed, Joy. I really believe that they have been brainwashed by this misinformation campaign. So how do you de-radicalize these people?
Once we educate them, we coach them on how to interact and empower the person to start thinking for themselves.
I think a lot of people are going to have to be deprogrammed. We had a program addressing white supremacy.
This is just wild. But, I mean, when you're smuggling 325,000 admitted missing kids into physical slave labor and sex slavery, I mean, why not?
Dude, you gonna fucking use your signal or not? You dumb fuck. Should've just went by him.
Turmeric has been used as a medicine for thousands of years to treat digestive disorders, respiratory problems, arthritis, and depression. It has strong anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, antimicrobial, and antioxidant properties, and is one of the most effective anti-inflammatory medications available. The Powerful Bodies formula at infowarstore.com includes 95% curcuminoids, Boswellia serrata extract, organic sage leaf, organic lemon balm leaf, organic thyme leaf, and piperine from black pepper. Bodies is arguably the best turmeric formula available. Get it now. Support free speech and support the InfoWar at infowarstore.com.
It's Tuesday, September 24th, in the year of our Lord, 2024. And you're listening to The American Journal with your host, Harrison Smith. Watch it live right now at band.video. I think it's time to build this thing. Get everybody stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The American Journal. I'm your host, Harrison Smith, coming
day. It's a very special day. We got a lot to show you folks, but more important than that, it's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. We got a lot of stuff to get into today, and see if we can't combat their rhetorical genius with, simple facts and observations. A lot to discuss. We'll open up the phone lines for your calls and a very special guest later in the show. We're talking about anti-white discrimination, the various manifestations of this now legal racism. It's a very big show. Glad you're with us. We will open up the phone lines probably in the second hour for your calls, but let's begin today, as we do every day, our daily dispatch. Tuesday, the 24th of September, 2024. U.S. sends more troops to Middle East as tensions rise between Israel and Hezbollah. The U.S. is sending a small number of additional troops to the Middle East in response to a sharp spike in violence between Israel and Hezbollah forces in Lebanon that has raised the risk of a greater regional war, the Pentagon said Monday. Major General Pat Ryder, Pentagon.
Well, do we think maybe exploding pagers and
how many more forces would be deployed?
walkie-talkies might have increased that violence?
Now has about 40,000 troops in the region. Don't worry. You heard during the presidential debate Kamala Harris say that there's not a single troop deployed in a war zone, except for those 40,000. Okay, other than those, not a single, and the boats and all of the massive armadas that we have strategically positioned off the coast of Lebanon, as well as the Red Sea and off the coast of Yemen. But other than that, not a single troop there. And it is amazing to know that our entire Navy right now is just in a holding pattern, awaiting deployment in the Middle East for yet another Middle East war. And gee, it's been 13 months since we got out of the last 2-decade-long ridiculous boondoggle. So time to hop right into another one. Thanks, Israel. Whatever we can do for you. From Disclosed.tv, U.S. lawmakers plan for a possible mass casualty event. A bipartisan group of 4 House members is advocating for a constitutional amendment allowing for the quick replacement of Congress members in the event of a mass casualty attack. Okay, Representative Derek Kilmer and Reps Brad Winstrup, Williams Timmons, and Emmanuel Cleaver II put forth a proposal to ensure that Congress can continue its work if a large number of members are killed in a mass attack. Which is just crazy. Which is just crazy. The proposal aims to ensure continuous representation and prevent violence from shifting political power. We've seen a 300% increase in threats against members over the last 7 years, noted Representative Derek Kilmer. The amendment would require House members to provide a list of potential replacements to their state's governor. Filling vacancies quickly would help maintain stability and deter political
Isn't that why
violence.
most states have a lieutenant governor?
Such an amendment is challenging due to the need for a 2/3 congressional vote and state ratification. Hey, you know what? Leftists keep trying to kill our guys, so hey, maybe this isn't a bad idea. It is a little bit weird. Why don't you send us a list of people who'd you want to replace you? Just in case anything ever happened. God forbid anything ever happened, but just in case, who would you want to replace you? Okay, kind of freaky. Kind of incredibly freaky. We'll get back to that. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky discusses victory plan he will present to Biden. It's a Good Morning America exclusive from ABC News, which of course is bearing the lead that Zelensky, a president of a foreign power, which we are not in an actual alliance by any means, is now campaigning in Pennsylvania for the Democratic Party. That's what's actually happening here. Zelensky says the plan aims to strengthen Ukraine to force Russia to negotiate, which they were willing to negotiate.
That type of shit makes me wonder if there's any chance of anybody else winning besides these motherfuckers.
play clips from his visit to the United States, the likes of Pennsylvania.
What does
Governor
Zelensky
Josh
think
Shapiro
if Trump wins?
signing the bombs
What's going to
that will
happen?
soon be flying through the air to blow up some
After he's
Russian
campaigned
for the designs
Kamala.
of the most despicable people in the world. Put on to that one nice. So we're going back to our first story. Lebanon, Israel.
It makes me
Hezbollah
think that they already
attacks
have it in the
daily
bag.
Lebanon since 2006. War in Gaza. Hours of traffic as thousands flee southern Lebanon.
I've been doing my part, though. I'll be working
Lebanon's
at the
been thrown
poll.
into chaos as Israel continues its attacks
Election
on what
day.
it says are Hezbollah positions in the northern, across its northern neighbors' territory. Footage shared on social media shows long lines of traffic as people have tried to flee to southern Lebanon, which has been subjected to an intense Israeli bombardment, more so than other parts of the country, towards the capital Beirut. Traveling from southern Lebanon towards Beirut usually takes 90 minutes at most, but a massive traffic jam has stretched for 12 hours or more, according to several witnesses CNN spoke to. Desperate scenes could also be seen at the border crossing between Lebanon and Syria, as hundreds of vehicles were seen clogging up the roads on the Lebanese side. And then, of course, they are also bombing Beirut now, so escaping to Beirut. Not exactly out of the fire quite yet. Again, we will get back to that, but they're doing to Lebanon what they already did to Gaza, and they're going to keep doing it until somebody stops them. Finally, we have this. Indiana taxpayers forced to fund sex change of imprisoned child murderer.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought I'd just tag this one on at the end just to remind you of the level of insanity we're dealing with. Now, phrased a little bit differently, I got no problem with this. Phrased maybe a little bit more honestly.
Castrate them? Okay.
And hey, this is not a bad thing. In other words, if this headline read, Indiana taxpayers forced to fund chemical castration of imprisoned child murder, well, okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking punishment fit for the crime. But no, it doesn't have to do with castrating child murderers. It has to do with serving the mental illness of child murderers. In one of the most heinous outcomes of gender ideology, the state of Indiana has been ordered by a federal judge to cover the sex change surgeries for Jonathan C. Richardson, who's currently serving a 55-year prison sentence for strangling an 11-month-old baby to death. And if we can find images of this guy, he looks just about what you would expect him to look like. Yeah, I don't think I need to expand on this. Do I need to comment on this? Do I need to explain why us normal people find it weird that in current year we're paying for child murderers to have elective sex change surgery? So I guess they can then be in prison with the women? Yeah, there he is. There's the guy. There's the guy that American taxpayers are going to be spending.
Oh, wow.
Probably millions of dollars just keeping alive for whatever reason. I think he should be hung by the neck until dead in public. Vote for me. Vote for me, the law and order candidate. I think if you
161, search for the code 3 weapons call, 930 Curtis Street. 5 people arguing across the street from the location. Hispanic male, pink shorts, gun in left hand.
I think you should be.
One has a stick, possibly came from a maroon Suburban Dodge truck, loading scrap in a gray Chevy truck. 930 Curtis, on South Miller, 721.
Psychiatrist, so what do I know?
It's this side of town.
That's your daily dispatch, folks. Brought to you, of course, by InfoWarsStore.com. Go today.
Somebody's confronting some scrappers.
Keep us on the air and in the fight. Fight for just everything good and normal. And when
Toe, you still in here? Where's Curtis and Miller?
Everybody believed. I don't know if there's a catchy. I don't know if there's a good advertising motto for that, but just like shop at InfoWars. So we can.
He probably jumped over the bow.
Stop these and
jumped over the bow.
I don't know. Is that enough? Is that enough to support us? Just knowing that we are a beacon of sanity in a world.
Oh, I mean, if the scrappers are literally stealing stuff, I would confront them too.
I want to go to
in my neighborhood.
Of our fearless fearless leader Alex Jones, who took to a massive sold-out, jam-packed stadium yesterday with Tucker Carlson.
Dispatch to 937.
To speak to the people of, I believe, Reading, Pennsylvania. Oh, maybe I didn't put the video in there. Shoot. All right, I'm going to have to pull in one of these videos because he gave a very powerful speech, and of course he did an interview with Tucker Carlson yesterday that is I'll go to.
I might go live just to play that Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson video or interview from last night.
Something happening here. There's a strange sort of
let's just do this. Let's just park here.
Taking place. If you're a regular viewer of this show, you'll know that.
All right, guys. How to get inside. Not the first one here.
Getting to the stage and look at that.
Have a great day. I'll probably see you in a bit. I'm probably going to play this video if it's available for free.
I'm sure
love you guys.
I mean,
peace.
With Tucker Carlson are very fun. I'm sure